One. Here we go.
Welcome to the second episode of the BAE Sports Podcast. I'm Baylor, paired alongside with Ethan and Aaron.
That's
Ethan,
right.
Aaron, how are you guys' weekend doing?
I'm doing all right, you know. I'm decked out in OU gear. I'm broadcasting live from Norman in my precious little dorm. I went to a baseball game today. I went to a basketball game today. Things are looking great.
Me too. Spring break, just making Deshaun Watson swaps all day. It's been really fun.
Awesome. Well, that ties kind of into our first topic, Aaron. We are going to be talking about the Deshaun Watson trade rumors, or not really rumors, but like where he's going to go. It is currently March 15th, 9:46 Central Time. I'm going to use your guys' time because
Yeah.
Where are you
we're normally
broadcasting
going to be
from?
Central Time. I'm in Mountain Time right now. Um,
No
I'm in
one
a
knows where that
condo,
is.
so we'll see how the Wi-Fi is. Let's hope we don't have an Aaron from
Yeah.
last. So, Aaron, you brought it up. You're making the jersey swaps. Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Deshaun Watson situation?
Well, right now, it's kind of a coin toss for me between probably the Saints and the Panthers. Panthers, they're a quarterback away. Same for actually all the teams involved are pretty much a quarterback away. But I mean, shoot, it's just a coin toss. I mean, imagine him with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. It's like you don't know what's going through his mind if he wants to go to Cleveland and live a terrible outside of football life, or if he just wants to win a Super Bowl. So I have no idea. What are your thoughts, Ethan?
I don't know. I feel like the legal part of this isn't over because he still faces 22 civil lawsuits, and it's like, that's a lot of lawsuits. And so I don't know if he's out of the water just yet. And who knows if he gets traded somewhere and then it gets shut down immediately. So I feel like it's too early
Yeah,
to tell.
yeah, I've heard he'll definitely get suspended for a
Mhm.
few games.
But this is
Yeah.
a topic I'm going to let you two talk about a lot. I'm going to take a back seat because
All
I'm
right.
not 100% familiar. I want to hear what you guys have to say.
So with the lawsuit situation, so legally he's not criminally charged, but that's just through the court of law. That's not through the NFL, and we know that the NFL has a history of suspending. I just thought something fell. Nothing fell. The
Edit
NFL
that
has a
out.
history of suspending for a long time. Like we saw the Calvin Ridley situation recently, where he got suspended an entire season for gambling, $1,500, and
That was funny,
even
though.
that was kind of funny. Like Ray Rice only was suspended for what, 4 games for beating his wife, and
That's
we all
not funny.
knew that happened. But 22 civil lawsuits with the new day and age, because I think that does have to be taken into account, where the NFL is not going to let a lot of stuff slide. I could see a 8 game to full year suspension, and you got to think how that's going to affect a team he goes to. Like, for example, the Carolina Panthers, who have a lot of interest in him, they're going to have to trade multiple firsts, multiple seconds, and more than likely 2 stud players. I've heard a lot of rumors that it's Christian McCaffrey and Brian Burns. So are you going to go half of the season, potentially the full season, with your star player not on your team anymore with Christian McCaffrey, Sam Darnold as your quarterback, and your best defensive player and Brian Burns not on the team? With that, for those 8 weeks, you're the worst team in football. You're probably not winning a game, and your team doesn't have a winning mindset. I think the Panthers makes the least amount of sense because you have to think what will the team give and be okay with not having those pieces and Deshaun Watson for an 8 game stretch. That's where I'm at, and I think that's also somewhat what Deshaun's thinking because he's going to want to win now. Players don't want to be like, I'm going to wait 2 to 3 years to win. He's going to want to win now. So I think the most likely place that he's going to choose, because at the end of the day, he gets to choose where he goes. That's in his contract. It's not that the Texans are like, we like this offer the most. Deshaun's going to be like, I want to play for this city the most. I think it's Cleveland or New Orleans because you look at it. Cleveland will still have Baker Mayfield. Maybe he gets traded before the like during this offseason. Maybe it's before the trade deadline. And then you look at the Saints, who have dabbled at putting Taysom Hill at quarterback. And you also look at the roster. The Browns and the Saints have a lot more to offer than the Panthers do, without crippling them as much. I think if the Saints do the deal, it's probably the 3 firsts, the 2 seconds, Marcus Davenport, and
Imagine they send Mark Ingram back to the Texans.
that would be awful. I would absolutely hate that. But yeah, say it's just like even if they do one player, like they do Cam Jordan away. So now you're just running with Taysom Hill and the Saints team without Cam Jordan for 8 games, and then Deshaun comes in. That's to me, that looks like still a decent football team. And then you get a top 10 quarterback like Deshaun Watson in. And then you look at Cleveland. You got Akers starting, maybe Case Keenum starting, and then you lose, say, Denzel Ward and
Kareem
I don't
Hunt.
even Kareem Hunt. You could do that, Denzel Ward and Kareem Hunt, and then you're still looking at a decent football team. So I don't think, and the Falcons, I don't think are in the conversation at all because I think Kyle Pitts and AJ Terrell are like are untouchables. But other than that, I don't think they have anybody that the Texans would be interested in because they wouldn't be interested in Matt Ryan. They got Davis Mills. They're not going to take
Yeah.
their quarterback. I think we're looking at a situation where Deshaun Watson is going to pick the place that he think without him has the best chance of winning. So him being on that roster gives that team a great chance at winning a Super Bowl. I think that's Cleveland or New Orleans. I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson by the end of tomorrow, which would be the end of today as you're listening to this because we'll have this out in the morning of March 16th. I think he's going to be a Cleveland Brown. And in 2 days' time, Baker Mayfield will be an Indianapolis Colt. Aaron,
Okay, but you have
do
to
you
think
think?
about it. The best chance to win, the best team is the Browns, but the division, the AFC North, is kind of stacked. You got the Steelers, the Ravens. Who else is in there? Can't remember.
Bengals.
Yeah,
We're just in the
Bengals.
Super Bowl.
That's a stacked division. If you go to the NFC South with the Saints, the Panthers, Buccaneers, you can win. Like Tom Brady's like you can fit 2 teams, but in the AFC North, all 3 teams are probably going to make it. So there's always that one outlier, and the head coaching thing, I don't know if he likes Kevin Stefanski. Sean Payton's gone, and Matt Rule sucks. So it's like kind of a toss-up still. You really don't know.
I don't think he's choosing the Panthers. I think there's no shot in my mind that he chooses the Panthers. I don't know what if he chooses the Panthers tomorrow and he's traded to the Panthers. I don't know what he's thinking. Out of those 4 options of the teams that are willing to trade for him and that the Texans are willing to trade for, the Panthers have the worst head coach, the worst offensive line. You could argue the worst weapons because at least the Falcons have Kyle Pitts, generational tight end. The Panthers have DJ Moore, but out of that, they don't really have anybody because you can't trust Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy. And they will probably have the worst defense after the Panthers have to trade 2 of their defensive studs to get Deshaun Watson. So I think the Panthers are desperate. I do think the Panthers are desperate to get a quarterback, but I don't think Deshaun Watson would want to be that next quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
All right, so we cross off the Panthers and the Falcons. So we got Saints and Browns. Offensive weapons, I would kind of give it to the Saints because Michael Thomas, wide receiver 1. Alvin Kamara still running back 1. And then Cleveland's receiving corps is like average, below average. So it depends what he's thinking, what he wants to play with. Like the offensive line for both teams are solid, right? I know the Browns were really good, but what do you think about the Saints offensive line?
It's good, but it's not great. They're losing Teron Armstead, which
Yeah.
sucks. But we haven't seen him dealt anywhere. So maybe the Saints are like, if we can land Deshaun Watson, we're going to re-sign you. Probably a team-friendly deal because they're going to spend a lot of money on Watson. And they don't have a lot of money to begin with. But when it's said and done, the Cleveland Browns have the best offensive line in football. They prove it with their run game. They prove it with how long they let Baker wait to throw the ball, to throw an interception. So I think, okay. Ethan, do you want to interject in here and shine some light on the Browns or Baker Mayfield
I
more
just
specifically?
It's hard for me to sit through any OU slander. I don't have anything to say, but it makes me mad.
You see the statement he just put out? He was kind of
I
saying like
did. I
his
just read
thanks
that
to
like 5 minutes
Cleveland.
ago. Before,
Yeah.
5 minutes before we started recording.
So no
Well,
I
matter
think.
at it.
Deshaun
You guys want to get an
Watson,
OU fan's live reaction to whatever he said if it's important?
Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna pause Deshaun Watson. I want to see. Ethan's reaction to this. Well, I
Oh,
guess
so
we
is he
still have to be
out?
talking.
but no
Ethan,
matter
if
what,
you want
he's
to like
gone.
read aloud what he said, and you can have some commentary on it, because we don't just want silence for the minute that you read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleveland, the past 4 years have been nothing short of truly life-changing since I've heard my name called in the draft to go to Cleveland. This is not a message with hidden meaning. This is strictly to thank the city of Cleveland for embracing my family and me. That's incorrect. You should say I. He's not repping the OU right there. We have made many memories and shared growing in this process through all the ups and downs. I have no clue about what happens next, which is the meaning behind the silence I've had during the duration of this process. I can only control what I can, which is trusting in Jesus' plan throughout this process. Next. I have given this franchise everything I have.
I don't know if he's giving it everything.
If
he
you
has.
have, that's a bad look, Baker. I love you. I'm gonna see you
He,
next month because we're
he
getting
Kinda-
a
has turned it
statue.
around.
That is kind
He's
of a
turned
bad
it
look
around.
because last year was really terrible for Baker.
That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level, and that will not change wherever I take my next snap. Whatever happens, I just want to say thank you to the fans who have truly embraced who I am and the mentality that aligns so well with this city's hardworking people. Cleveland will always be a part of Emily and my story, and we will always be thankful for the impact it has had and will have in our lives. Sincerely, Baker, Ronald Reagan Mayfield. Um, I don't know why I put that out, That's not good.
What do you think that means for Baker Mayfield as an OU fan and
He's
student
gone.
and
He's gone.
Baker Mayfield connoisseur? What is your opinion on where do you think Baker's future is in the NFL?
I think that there are some Progressive Insurance advertisement people who are going to have to move in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I don't know what's going on. But
Indianapolis.
why would you make that, if you think you're staying?
No, he thinks he's gone
Well, that's what I'm
because
saying. He thinks he's gone. That's why he's making
Even
it.
if
But
even if they don't get Deshaun Watson,
they're trading him.
mhm.
they're trading him because you can't push for Deshaun Watson this heavily and Baker be like,
Confident.
trust this organization. Like the organization has now proven that they don't trust Baker.
Mhm.
But the Saints, at least, Jameis was a free agent, so they don't know their future quarterback situation. So if they
That's why
don't get
they've been
Deshaun
waiting.
Watson, they can be like, "Yo, Jameis, come back. We miss you, man." And with the Falcons, Matt Ryan's got to realize he's like 30-something years old. He's like, you know what? If I have to get out of here, it's fine. They can get a new guy. It's okay. I've done what I want with this franchise. But with the Panthers, it's just like Sam Darnold probably has no faith, and I know the organization has no faith in Sam. But yeah, this is a bad look if the Browns don't land Deshaun Watson. If the Browns don't land Deshaun Watson, this is just really bad because they're losing their quarterback.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's still out there. If Baker gets traded to the Colts, they get Jimmy Garoppolo. It still works out because both quarterbacks are run heavy, like hand off the ball type players. So Colts, Jonathan Taylor, he got it.
Or I'm gonna quote a big sports guy on TikTok, Bladen Kirk. Probably not listening, but if he was, that'd be awesome. Future Cleveland legend Derek Carr. If I'm Derek Carr, I am getting out of the AFC West.
He wants to stay. I've watched the Harvester Sports Podcast. He loves Vegas, and he will do anything to stay there.
Really?
And that's a fact. Yeah, he really wants
Is
to
that
stay
the
there.
one where is that the podcast where the host is cousins with Derek Carr?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He really
So if
actually
Derek-
wants to stay.
Okay, if Derek Carr wants to stay, he'll stay. He's like the only good player on the Raiders. I made a video. I think it was yesterday, right? I was like, this is all the players in the AFC West. I had like 8 players per team, and with the Raiders, I had 3.
Yeah.
And I got bashed for not including Hunter Renfrow and Josh Jacobs, mainly by this man.
Yeah.
Your comment is the most liked comment on
Yeah.
that video, Aaron.
Because people agree.
I forgot about Hunter Renfrow when I made the video. I would not put Josh Jacobs on that list of the guys I was putting on. I saw a lot of Raiders fans they're like Casey Hayward, and
He's on the Raiders?
yeah, I don't even know guys I was like they're on the Raiders, guys that are good, but I'm like I wasn't listing every good player. I was listing really good players. Like I put Bradley Chubb and Jerry Jeudy, who haven't been productive in the last year, but their talent and potential is still there. So they're still scary players to have to play against.
Yeah.
I mean, I put Aaron Waller, and I put Derek Carr, and I put
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby. Those are good guys. But
Yeah.
the Raiders are kind of in a L situation right now. Do we want to talk about the AFC West? I feel like we've said all we can about the Deshaun Watson stuff.
Okay, but before that, Baylor, Browns. I'll go ahead and say Browns too. Ethan, who do you think he's going?
Who is
Where do you
Deshaun
think
Watson.
Deshaun's going?
Deshaun? I don't know. Like,
Just random guess.
Just make a decision.
Cleveland,
Do you want
Atlanta.
to be different, or do you want to join
need
Deshaun
to be
Watson
silly?
going to Cleveland?
No, do whatever you want.
Okay, he's from Georgia, went to school in Clemson.
Yeah.
So that means Southeast. I just assume everyone's going home because I think that makes me happy. Falcons.
Falcons?
Okay, that's fair.
So, Aaron, you sent me your the jersey swap you have for the thumbnail. Do you have one of him in a Browns jersey?
Yeah, I'll send all of them right now.
Okay, awesome. Because I was really hoping the only one you had wasn't the Panthers one.
I have-
Because I think
I have
we
all
all
four.
collectively agreed that that's the worst place he can choose to go to.
I have all four Baylor. I have Falcons, Saints, Panthers. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we'll use the people on YouTube watching this already know the thumbnail is Deshaun Watson in a Browns jersey. People
Or we can do all
watching
four
this-
of them. We could slap multiverse
Ooh.
clones.
Or split them up, or have 4 Deshaun Watsons on the thumbnail.
I don't know. That'd be kind of weird.
Whatever.
We'll just do 4, split into 4 of the jerseys.
Oh,
Like-
I like that. If you could do
Yeah.
that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
People on YouTube, you'll have seen if he did it.
Yeah.
People on Spotify, if Spotify will
Except
allow
us.
us to be on the platform. I'll check after this, and if it is, I'll get the episode one on Spotify. But listeners on Podbean, the thumbnail is going to be something really cool by Aaron, as always.
If the thumbnail isn't that, then you are completely allowed to cyberbully Aaron about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
So are we going to talk about the AFC West?
AFC West, I think that's yeah.
So I have this tweet by John Boyce, who's like my favorite sports writer. He said Derek Carr's got to be by a long shot the best quarterback ever to be the worst quarterback in his division.
That is
Agreed,
a
yes.
great tweet.
So, I mean, his competition's Herbert, right?
Yes.
My mind completely blanked.
Russell Wilson,
Russell
Patrick
Wilson,
Mahomes.
and Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
But Russell Wilson got traded. I believe this was before. Unless is it the Broncos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
can't
don't
remember
think
if
it was before
or
because that
after.
would have been Drew Lock.
No, you're right.
But
That
let's
is-
talk
yeah.
about the Chargers.
He's like the 12th or 13th best quarterback, and he's the worst in his division. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Aaron, you said you want to talk about the Chargers?
Yeah, they're winning the Super Bowl in 2023. Confirmed. Sources
So you
say.
mean like February 2023, or do you mean
Yes,
the
February
2023
2023.
season?
Yes.
That's a good take. I like that.
I don't, because it's the Chargers,
don't like that?
and I don't think they're ever
It's the
going to win
Chargers?
anything.
They don't really
You're
have.
insane.
I wonder if they're going to get fans this year. Because
They
I
will.
wonder if that's going to be the bandwagon team.
Yeah.
Because there's always a bandwagon team. And it's always different every year. Because they're like, well, this team wasn't good.
It's like the
that long
Clippers.
ago.
You know?
This year was the Bengals.
Yeah. It's a team you kind of expect, but it's not always the best team. But it's a team that's fun to watch and it is really good that you can expect to do well. I think
Yeah.
it will be the Chargers, which is crazy to say. That the Bengals and the Chargers in back-to-back years were the bandwagon teams. It's just crazy to say.
All right, but let me list off the roster for you. You got Justin Herbert, quarterback, Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Jalen Guyton. I don't know if Jared Cook's a free agent.
I think he is. I think Jared Cook is a free agent.
But average offensive line, and then we go to defense. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. Who else am I missing?
They signed the
J.C.
Rams D
Jackson.
tackle.
J.C. Jackson. I mean, they're really stacked. If they don't win, then it's a fail.
They also got. They're so stacked that you forgot to say Derwin James.
Oh yeah, I did.
Aaron's face there.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do it. Forgot him, but
And they got Asante Samuel and Nasir Adderley on rookie contracts. He fixed everything that was a problem on that team from last year. They didn't have a good run game. Then they sign the D. I don't know his. I'm not going to go without knowing his name. Defensive tackle. Chargers. As I look this up, they got Khalil Mack, who is one of the best run stuffing edge. Like he's a great edge rusher, and then he's also a great run stuffer at edge. And that's the run game was something that they were absolutely terrible at. Sebastian Joseph Day, that's who it is, was the defensive tackle alongside Aaron Donald on a Super Bowl winning Rams roster that had a great defense. They also got J.C. Jackson, which they needed a good number one corner who Mr. Interception, or as I said in the last episode multiple times, Mr. Touchdown. J.C. Jackson's amazing. And they have Asante Samuel at the 2. They have pick 17 that they could either go Jordan Davis and have probably the best defensive line in football, or they could go Jamison Williams and have the best receiving core in football, or they could go Nakobe Dean and have one of the best defenses in football. The Chargers cannot lose with that draft pick.
I mean, the offensive
This
line
team is so good.
They're stacked or the linemen in this draft is stacked too, so they could get someone at whatever pick they have too.
Because they did just release Brian Bulaga today.
Yeah.
They might want to go OT. Honestly, this is a team where I think their draft pick doesn't really matter that much. They could not have this pick. They could have used this pick to trade for Khalil Mack, and I would be completely fine with it because they have probably a top 5 offense. Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and now they went from a bad defense to probably one of the best because it's not even very top heavy now. Like there's probably 10 guys on that defense who are really good. So I do like the Chargers. Chargers winning the Super Bowl is not a bad take at all. What about the Broncos, who just traded? We talked about it, but just traded for Russell Wilson, and they just signed Randy Gregory to a large 5-year contract worth $70 million. I think that's huge. You got Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb coming off the edge. You've got Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain in the secondary. Then you have Russell Wilson throwing to Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton with Javonte Williams getting the ball. I mean, the AFC West is so stacked. Ethan, you want to talk about how good the Chiefs are so we can each get a team to talk about?
Oh man, Patrick Mahomes is so good. They have that running back who's like always high on fantasy because he catches the ball a lot, or maybe vice versa. Can't remember. He has 2 last names.
That's true. Clyde Edwards.
I'm gonna look up Chiefs and see if there's anyone I think is interesting. But I mean, they're always good, right? They got Mahomes, you can't go wrong with that ever, unless he gets hurt or he's like out.
And they might get Juju. Juju's still out there.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're just boosting what you got.
Imagine the Chargers get Juju.
They have to put in the least work to be conference or to be division champions because they're already at the top. You know, they already have this talent. They're not counting on anyone to be better. They just have to be themselves. I'm kind of saying obvious things while I pull up the roster. I'm going to see if there are any names that make me happy.
You need help, Ethan?
What?
You need help?
Maybe.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce.
They have Josh Gordon. If he could stay off the weed, which he won't, that's huge.
Yeah.
If Josh Gordon somehow becomes prime Josh Gordon and they sign Juju, that is going to be insane.
Baylor,
Tyreek Hill.
His prime was Gordon. 1 year.
Okay,
No.
But what if he's now
his
becomes
always.
Cleveland Browns
he
Josh
can't
Gordon?
stay on. I talked over you. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I think it's those 3 teams are making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're too good not to. Like they're probably all 12, 13 win level teams, but they'll probably have one 12-win team that wins the division and then 2 11 or 10-win teams just because they have to play so many good teams in the AFC as well as every team in the AFC West twice a year.
But poor Raiders, they're a playoff team in any other division except the AFC West.
Probably. They're a playoff team in the NFC. Like, throw them on the NFC North. I think they're probably, as coming from a Vikings fan, they're probably second in the NFC North. Throw them on the NFC West. You could say they're second or third in the NFC West. Throw them on the South, the NFC South. They're probably the second best team. NFC East, you could argue 1 or 2. So it's like the Raiders are just getting dealt a terrible hand by being the 4th best team in the best division in football, in the best conference in football. Props to Derek Carr for wanting to stay in Las Vegas. Props to him with all the shit that's happened the last 2 years. But the new division that he's going to have to go up against, props to him. I like Derek Carr. He's a cool guy in my eyes.
And I mean,
I'm not the highest on him as an actual quarterback, but as a guy, I am a big fan of Derek Carr.
and I'm pretty sure this year in the playoffs against the Bengals was his first playoff start. And he's probably never going to get there again.
The Raiders made the playoffs when he was the quarterback, but he was hurt. So you're right, it was his first playoff start.
Yeah, and he's never going to get back there again with the Raiders.
That is unfortunate. I think, let's think about it this way. So the Browns don't get Deshaun Watson, even though the two of us think he is. Let's say Ethan's scenario happens, and he goes to the Falcons. And the Falcons decide to trade Matt Ryan to the Colts. And Baker's a little hesitant. The organization's hesitant with Baker with everything that happened. We go a year. Baker's not much better. Derek Carr goes a year in the toughest division we've probably ever seen. The last, in my time watching the NFL, in the last 6 years, this is the best division I've ever seen.
In general.
In general, this might be the best division ever. I don't know because I wasn't alive in the 70s.
Yeah.
But imagine the Raiders are so bad and Derek Carr realizes how tough it is to win in this division. He says, you know what? I love the city. I want to be able to win. And then the Browns and the Raiders make a trade. Baker gets a new place to become a quarterback at Las Vegas. That's fun, right? And Derek Carr now gets an organization that has better pieces in a division that's still tough. The AFC North is still tough, but not as tough as the AFC West, and gives them a chance to not only win the division, but go far in the playoffs because the Browns have a great roster besides quarterback. They're a Derek Carr away from making a deep push in the playoffs.
But have we talked about where Von Miller could go? Because he'll probably be in the AFC West. Broncos or Chargers. Chargers, if they get Von Miller, they're winning another Super Bowl, confirmed, 100%. Broncos, still a decent shot.
I think I was a huge Von Miller to the Broncos. In the last podcast, I really wanted him to come home. But I do not think that that's going to happen now because of the Randy Gregory signing. That's a lot of money to pay a guy in Von Miller's position. You still have Bradley Chubb. If tomorrow the Broncos trade Bradley Chubb, and I think Von Miller's coming back. But right now, I like the Chargers pick, and I like the Cowboys pick. They lost Randy Gregory. A lot of teams right now aren't looking for the future. They're looking for, how can I get better right now? Because you see teams like the Broncos, the Chargers, the Buccaneers, they're getting better right now. So you could see the Cowboys being like, you know what, we're going to try and win it all right now, and they could go and get a guy like Von Miller.
And
Ethan, where do you think Von Miller's going to go?
I don't know. Honestly, I've been reading the list of Carolina Panthers starting quarterbacks, and it's crazy how many of these people I've never heard of. Jake Delhomme.
List them off from us from this year down to Cam Newton.
2021. Well, I'm talking before Cam Newton, the dark ages of Carolina Panthers football. I mean, you guys know who's recently, but before Cam Newton, Jimmy Clausen is who they're trusting. Jake Delhomme, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. They've entrusted Jake with the ball for like 6 years. No wonder they were terrible.
Jake from State Farm.
2002, Rodney Pete.
That's a fun name.
It is a fun name. I'm sure that they did swimmingly in 2002. Oh, let's see, 7-9. That's pretty good because the year before, with Chris Winkie, they were 1-15. That's good. Good for you guys. Kerry Collins. I don't know, man. It's just a real rough Wikipedia page. Von Miller. Where's he from?
Dallas.
I think you did this didn't you do this last episode? You like looked up where Von Miller was from, and you're like, I want him to go home so he's happy.
I think that was a different player.
Von Miller.
He's from Texas. Okay.
I think I was like, it would make me happy if he went to the Broncos, but like, why would he?
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to the audience. I can't remember what my takes were from last week, but
I think we both said Broncos.
yeah,
I said the Chargers.
I think Chargers is very likely, honestly. I think it's Chargers or Dallas.
But apparently he has a home next to the Cowboys facility, so
really?
He could go home. Yeah, I saw a tweet about that today.
That would be nice, having to moving to a new city and already having a place.
Not even a new city. That's his hometown.
Even better.
Ethan, what you doing there?
I'm reading about Von Miller.
Mid podcast.
I know. I'm trying to catch up. Like I said, I don't know anything about the NFL. I'm just here to.
No, you're good.
Here to ask questions, really.
This is not only an experience for our listeners to get more like knowledge, see me and Aaron's takes, and become more informed with the NFL or predictions or stuff like that. This is also a podcast to help Ethan grow as an NFL fan.
That's right. It's like joining the NBA to learn how to shoot a three-pointer.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it is. And when like NFL news dies down, we'll get into maybe March Madness, maybe the NBA. We'll see. We'll cover the NBA finals, and I think that's more along your lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got the Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's coming back. Tom Brady came out of retirement this weekend. This weekend he came out of retirement. The Bucs now look like a very tough team in the NFC because they got Russell Gage now. Now they have probably the best receiving core in football. Hurts the Falcons a ton. They traded for Shaq Mason, who is a great guard from the Patriots for only a 5th-round pick. So with Watson coming back and Brady coming back, people's top 10 quarterback lists are going to change drastically. So now with these 2 additions of quarterback and a full year's worth of the NFL at a close, we're going to be discussing all of our top 10 quarterback lists, starting with 1. I'll say our 1, then our 2, then we'll go down to 10. And then afterwards, I guess we can talk about the guys we left off because there's still a lot of top 10 caliber quarterbacks that you can't just say are top 10. Because I could argue there's 14 top 10 caliber quarterbacks in the league. So I'm going to start it off with my number 1 quarterback in the league being one-time MVP, one-time Super Bowl champion, Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he ever left as the number 1 quarterback. People just got the hype with other players and were sick of Mahomes being at the top of the league. I still think A1 of the league, Mahomes is the best quarterback.
Yeah, so I feel like I need to preface my list by saying I don't think it's a top 10 quarterbacks in the league as much as it's a top 10 quarterbacks I have the most clear conscience supporting. This is more of just my favorite. But I have Pat Mahomes at number 4. I remember when Texas Tech played OU, I believe it was 2016. The score of the game was like 63-55. It was nuts. Shattered the record of total passing yards because it was Baker Mayfield versus Pat Mahomes. Most stressful game I've ever seen. Just no trust in either defense. 2 amazing quarterbacks slinging the ball over the place like it was nothing. And now, Pat Mahomes is in the NFL. He's super easy to root for if you forget about his brother and his mom. But, like...
And his wife.
I guess his wife. Is his wife cringe, too?
Yes.
All right. So. Well, if you just look at him on the field, which I did not do for anyone else, I don't know. I feel like as a person, he's fine. You know, I would trust hanging out with him 100%. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me, but Pat Mahomes is my number 4 on the list.
Did you see the NFL post, like, congratulations, Brittany Lynn and Patrick Mahomes' marriage, and the whole comment section's LLLLL.
The comments on that are terrible.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
But Ethan, who's your number 1 guy? Who's your number 1?
I feel like I should do my top 3 because they all have a theme, right?
Number 1. Just go number 1.
We're going 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2.
Okay.
We got it.
Okay.
We got it going.
My number 1 is Kyler Murray because he's so fun. And these are just who I have. These are my favorite quarterbacks. Kyler Murray was so fun at OU. He showed up before his Heisman season because I think Baker, when he grabbed his balls at the Kansas game, they put Kyler Murray in for a half. And I swear to God, the first play that he ran, just snapped the ball and ran it for a touchdown, like 80 yards. It was so awesome. And I'm like, this guy's going to win the Heisman next year. And he won the Heisman next year, yeah.
You were right.
Hey, Baylor.
Yes.
Can you edit in the Cardinals-Rams playoff game this year where he threw a pick 6 at the 2-yard line?
Okay.
I
have one bad game, so I am the worst quarterback ever. You guys need to relax a little bit. He's still like
our
3 years old.
Our lists are going to be more. Me and Aaron is the top 10 best.
Yeah.
Ethan's is his top 10 favorite.
These are just my favorites. Look, Kyler Murray has one bad game, and everyone's ready to murder him. Dude, he's been in the league for 2 years. Give him a break. I know Joe Burrow is all high and mighty, but give him a year or 2. He's on the Cardinals. No one's gonna win on the Cardinals anyway, because they're the Cardinals. But I don't know, man.
8-0, and then they went
So they have potential. They can go 8-0. They just got to go.
They can go 8-0
and
then go
I think this year is very
whatever
promising.
The rest was.
I mean, we thought he was going to be an MVP for half the year, right?
Yeah, but then he turned into a fraud. So
okay. Give him a new year. Let him reset.
I think Baker's going to be number 2 and Jalen Hurts is number 3.
How'd you know, man?
I knew it.
That's why I wanted to do my top 3. Can
I
do my top 3 real quick, and then I could be quiet for 15 minutes?
Sam Bradford at number 4?
Sam Bradford is ineligible for the list, but he would probably be above a few of them.
Yeah, Ethan, since I kind of spoiled it, go ahead and do your 2 and 3 as well.
I would put Baker Mayfield number 1, but I mean, I don't think he's proved himself as much as Kyler. And if he gets a fresh start somewhere else, that would be pretty neat. Although I feel like he doesn't need a fresh start. I feel like this may just be who he is, which makes me sad. But I don't know. Once again, you really think he's going to succeed in Cleveland? No one's going to succeed in Cleveland. Unless you're LeBron.
Deshaun Watson will.
Deshaun Watson will.
No, he won't.
No,
he won't. He's going to go to Cleveland, and then he's going to get arrested, and he will never play a game for Cleveland because Cleveland can't have nice things with their football team.
Cleveland County Jail.
This is going to be the best bit, the best, just joke if he goes to the Panthers and we all think he's not going to the Panthers, and then Baker Mayfield stays in Cleveland, and he's a really good quarterback next year. So we're just completely wrong.
I know. If he's great, I'm so happy. I don't care where he's great. I just want him to be great. Number 3 is Jalen Hurts. No, you go. What are you say?
I want him to go to the Panthers. Him and DJ Moore would destroy the league. That would be so fun to watch.
DJ Moore to have a good quarterback for once.
Yes, I do. I mean, he's put up he was almost top 5 this year, the first half of the year when Sam Darnold was playing good, but then he had terrible quarterback play, and then he was playing above average. So, yeah, I do want him to be a star. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Ethan, you were saying?
Okay, so yeah, number 3, Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry that my list sucks. I hope I'm not ruining it. It's a fun list. It's a very fun list, but it's a terrible list. I mean, Jalen Hurts was at OU for 1 year. He was kind of bad at the beginning, comparatively, because we got super spoiled with our quarterbacks. Second half, he turned it around. Crazy comeback game against Baylor. And we were like, well, man, we have 3 straight, NFL-bound quarterbacks. That's crazy. And I didn't think he was going to be as good as fast as he was with the Eagles, which is I'm really proud of him for that. But didn't he have kind of a departure last year? He kind of went down in 2021.
I mean, his rushing went way up. He was the 4th fantasy quarterback, but his passing's not great. It's still he's early in his career. It's year 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
He played few
Maybe it's
games
just
in
the
his
team
rookie
record that
season.
went down.
But they were 9-8 this year.
Okay, well,
They made the
Or better than
playoffs,
they were
yeah.
last year.
okay, but
He's fine. I think Jalen is a cool guy. I think that unless the Eagles are really bad this year, that they'll keep Jalen.
okay.
But at number 4, we have Spencer Rattler,
No,
Heisman Trophy winner of
I know, September
2022.
Heisman.
So,
Man,
Aaron, who is your number 1?
Well, this is going to shock you, but it's Jackson Mahomes' brother, Patrick Mahomes, at number 1. I mean, I thought that's the obvious pick, so we'll just go number 2 with you, Baylor.
Okay. And we'll just, since Ethan already gave us his 1 through 4, me and Aaron will just go till 4, and then
okay,
Ethan can
if you
take
say
5.
someone who I have at like number 5, do I need to pipe in, or do you just let you
No,
talk?
you can just wait because
Okay,
this is more
sorry,
of a
I didn't know that.
more of a
That's my
shock,
fault,
I
y'all.
guess. No, you're cool. You're cool. You're cool. Your answers were funny. That's all that matters. At number 2, I have the hottest quarterback in the
Oh,
NFL,
not the
Josh
TikTok.
Allen. Josh Allen does so much on both sides. He's a great rushing threat. He's the best rushing threat on the Bills. He has the biggest arm in the league. A lot of the knocks on him were his accuracy, and he was an insanely accurate quarterback this year. The last 2 games against the Patriots were the one in the wild card and the one in the regular season were 2 of the best games I have ever seen from a quarterback. And I don't feel comfortable putting him at 1 just yet. At the end of next year, when he wins MVP, that might change things. But Patrick Mahomes is the best until further proven. But I have Josh Allen on that same tier as Mahomes. Aaron,
I
you're
mean,
number 2.
I'm close to you where you're at, but I mean, back-to-back MVPs at his age, almost no interceptions every year. Got to give him respect. Aaron Rodgers, even though he sucks in the playoffs, you still got to give him number 2. So, yeah, I got Aaron Rodgers. Even though I absolutely hate him, like, it's whatever.
He's
I'm
on
picking
my
Rodgers.
list.
Yeah, I
Aaron
don't.
Rodgers is 3 on my list. He back-to-back MVPs. He's amazing. I just think in the times when it counts, as you said, Aaron Rodgers, he's not putting it when it counts. He's not on the level of Mahomes and Allen.
He just
You
doesn't know
saw-
when to take shots.
He's not a shot taker. He's not a shot taker.
Packers are heated right now listening to this.
Packers fans already hate me.
Yeah.
I don't think any fan base actually likes me except maybe the Jags, and that's like 3 people.
That's true.
I know Eagles fans hate me. Packers fans hate me. Raiders fans now hate me.
Baylor has a
only
hate
fan-
base, not a
That's
fan
true.
base.
I'm a hate base. No, honestly, people hate me. But I like to root for the underdogs. That's why I think Vikings fans like me, just because I'm one of them in the pain and suffering that they are,
Oh.
and Jags fans like me. So, Aaron, what is your number 3? I have a good guess at who it is.
Yeah, it's definitely Josh Allen, 100%. Yeah, no doubt.
Do you want to elaborate, or are you just like, yeah, he's number 3?
No, yeah, he's number 3. There's no one else that you could put above him. So, Josh Allen, yeah.
Josh
I think those
Allen
are the top 3 undisputed.
looks like a NASCAR driver or like an evangelical Christian. Like, I feel like he's gonna strum a guitar and be like, "So here's what's going on about Jesus Christ."
No, he looks like one of the Mormons that knock on your door.
Yeah,
I like him with the have you seen? Look at pictures of him with the mustache. Ethan.
I know. I'm looking at a picture of him with a mustache.
No.
Nice.
He's got a big old toothy grin.
This is
Mm.
where, at number 4, this is where it gets interesting. Because
does
the
get
top 3
spicy.
should be everyone except Ethan. The top 3 should be Mahomes, Allen, Rodgers in any order
Yeah, my number 4 is
that
pretty
you
easy.
prefer. At number 4, I have a guy who I think is on the same level as those 3. Justin motherfucking Herbert. Some of the throws that he makes, no one else could make. He had against the Raiders in week 17, 5 fourth down conversions, something like that. To lead a team to an almost tie, which would have been the coolest game in NFL history. The unintentional tie that gets the Steelers out of the playoffs and both those teams in it. He's got an amazing arm, great accuracy, great leadership on this team, makes great throws. He's my number 4. He'll probably be above Rodgers next year. Aaron, your number 4?
I mean, our lists are actually pretty similar, but we kind of flipped it around. But I have Deshaun Watson at number 4, not because I'm a Watson fan or Watson Legion, but because if you really think about it, if you put Deshaun Watson on the Chargers, the odds of them winning the Super Bowl go way higher than Justin Herbert. It's like he had Bill O'Brien as his coach. In the years he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, I think last year he was leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. And his wide receiver one was, I can't even remember because it was a nobody. So Deshaun Watson deserves to be at number 4, even though he hasn't played in a whole year. He's still top tier with a garbage team. Imagine what he'd do with the elite team.
Ethan, who is your number 5? I am very excited to hear this.
So this is going to be a fun one. My number 5 is Joe Burrow. I think he's pretty easy to root for. He's got a swagger and he can back it up, you know? If he acted the way he did on like a 1-15 team, then it'd be like, okay, man, you do you. But I mean, Joe Burrow is like, I'm awesome, and then he proved himself to be awesome. And I mean, he beat OU like 55-0 in the semifinal. That hurt my feelings, but I was like, okay, that was kind of awesome. I don't even care. So I'm a little bit of a Joe Burrow fan. And the back half of my list is a mix of who do I like and how good are they. So it's kind of a half list, half not, in terms of half how good they are, half how bad they are. So I have Joe Burrow at number 5.
Respectable. He deserves respect.
Mm-hmm.
I think people can overrate Burrow, but at the end of the day, he deserves respect. He's a good quarterback. He led a team to a Super Bowl. That being said, he's not my number 5. At my number 5, I have 2022 Comeback Player of the Year. Wait, is Burrow technically the 2022 or is it the 2021 season? Next year's Comeback Player of the Year. At number 5, I have Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, say what you want about him. He's a good passer. He's a good passing quarterback. And what he can do with his legs to elevate a team and elevate an offense, nobody else in the league can do. No, Josh Allen even, who I praise, who I think is amazing, can't do the things in the running game that Lamar can do. And say what you want, that elevates his passing game even more than a quarterback that can't. It elevates his passing game. It doesn't make him a running back. He's a great quarterback who has a good arm, has great accuracy, has good decision-making, won an MVP in 2019. He's a good quarterback. He's my number 5. He's my Comeback Player of the Year.
You're telling me you take Lamar Jackson over Deshaun Watson?
I would.
No way.
I don't care.
Deshaun is just as good as a rusher. He's just as good as a runner.
Aaron,
as Lamar Jackson.
Number 5.
No, we're continuing this Lamar debate. He's not even close to my top 5 radar.
He's not. Insane. Is he? He's in your top 10 though.
Yes, he's in the top 10, but he's not that good. I mean, imagine him without Mark Andrews. I mean, he's already like just an average passer. I mean, his completion's really good, but if you think about it, he's not making like these insane deep throws. He's just running the ball, and it's flashy. You guys, you like watching that, but no disrespect, but he's not that good.
I'm going to make a gentleman's agreement with you. Not a bet with money, a bet with pride. Lamar Jackson will have more passing touchdowns this year than Deshaun Watson.
All right, mark it.
I'm on Baylor's side here.
Bet on pride. You're not going to shake on it?
Oh, yeah, shake
on it. Bet on pride.
Do you know Deshaun Watson? Oh, I sound like a fanboy. Never mind. We'll move on.
Who is your number 5 quarterback, Aaron?
Justin Herbert. 100%. You already explained everything, so I'm not going to elaborate on it.
Justin Herbert looks like he would walk up to me and ask me if I have games on my phone.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice. From like social media posts and interviews I've seen, he's a pretty stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Ethan, who is your number 6?
We just talked about him. Lamar Jackson's my number 6. I think it's pretty easy to
Hell yeah.
He whooped at Louisville when he was there. That was pretty awesome. Louisville quarterbacks are always really easy to root for because Louisville's cool. the Cardinals. They got Papa John. Rest in peace, Papa John. But Louisville's fun. Lamar Jackson's fun. He throws to 2 OU players, which makes me happy. So I got a big old soft spot for Lamar Jackson, and I hope he does well.
Nice. Good reasoning to like Lamar Jackson, who's better than Deshaun Watson. At number
No, you
6,
aren't.
speaking of which, I have Deshaun Watson at number 6. I think he still has potential to be a top 10 guy. Not top 10, top 5 guy. I want to see him play again because he hasn't played in over a year. But he's the miracle man. He's Michael Jordan on the football field. He makes miracles. He scrambles around. He's the best quarterback before throwing the ball. I'll say that. He's the best quarterback in the league before the ball leaves his hand. You could say maybe Kyler Murray, but I think no one scrambles around in a pocket and outside of pocket like Deshaun. He's got a good arm. He's got good accuracy. Now he's got character concerns, so that's something I'm taking into account. But right now he'll be 6. We'll see what happens down the line. Aaron,
Well,
you're number 6?
At number 6, I got the guy that led in completions, passing yards, and touchdowns this year, the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. Because when you look at quarterbacks, the best quarterbacks in the league, they have to be able to be clutch. They have to make the clutch throws, just accuracy on point. Lamar Jackson doesn't have that. He can't. He wins regular season games, but when it comes to crunch time in the playoffs, you got to make the big throws to win the game. And Tom Brady can do that, as we all know. So that's my reasoning. I know you guys probably have Brady a little lower than that, but yeah, respect to the GOAT. Ethan?
I have Brady almost nowhere on my list. In fact, he is nowhere on my list because
Wow.
I'm sick and tired of Brady, and I just want him gone. I know there's a lot of people
Yeah.
who are like, respect greatness while it happens. Man, he's been in the league the entire time I've been alive, and I'm so sick of it, man. It's always Brady this, always Brady this, always kissing his babies on the mouth. I'm like, I'm done. I'm Brady'd out. I'm tapping out. I'm done. When I heard the news that he was gone, I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I'm so glad there could be a new face of the NFL. Nope, he's back. Oh my god. Dude, what, he was out for a month? And he took his
40
kids
days.
to school twice.
He had to,
And he's like,
had
I'm
to
sick
deal
of
with
this.
his kids for a month, and he's like, no, I'm coming back.
I'd rather get drilled by 300-pound dudes in pads than hang out with my family. Like, okay, bro.
Hey, yo.
I don't know,
So
man.
who's your number
anti-Brady.
7?
My number 7 is another weirdo of the NFL, Russell Wilson. I liked him when he was on the Seahawks. I liked him when he was on the Seahawks. He was fun. Seahawks are fun. I saw that TikTok where he's all weird. You guys know the one, right?
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Where he's pointing about how he loves his family and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
he's so strange. That bumped him down the list a little bit. If I didn't know that
I think
video
it bumped
existed,
him up my list. That's hilarious.
nah, he would be
Okay.
he'd probably be above Lamar Jackson, but that video bumped him below Lamar Jackson for me. So I have Russell Wilson at 7.
Okay, that was a good pick. Baylor, it's up to you now, right? Is that
I'm
Bryson?
at 7, and I actually made a mistake. I hate to be that guy who made the mistake, but we all wrote a list down, but I wasn't going off my list because I thought I remembered it. And I guess I wanted to talk about Lamar too soon. Lamar, my 7 is Watson. My 6 is Lamar. I skipped my 5th on accident. My 5th is Tom Brady. I agree with everything you said, Aaron. He led the league in completion. He led the league in passing yards. He's still rocking at 46 years old. You can trust him when it comes to crunch time decisions. He can't take out the GOAT. He's the GOAT for a reason. I think he's not in that top tier right now, but I still think he's top 5. That would make my 6 Lamar Jackson, 7 Deshaun Watson. So, Aaron, who is your 8?
It actually looks like me and Ethan were on the same page at number 7, Russell Wilson. I mean,
Sorry, you're 7. My bad. I don't know numbers.
but
Go ahead.
the first 4 games of Russell Wilson, he's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. But if you even them out through the whole season, number 7's good enough. Deep ball accuracy, he can win games. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to put Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson, right?
I mean, I will. So will
Okay.
Ethan.
I'd put Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson.
Bad take.
Okay, that probably is. I don't I don't know. Lamar Jackson is younger, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
very much so.
I I think I'd trust Lamar Jackson more than Russell Wilson. But I mean,
That's
now that I
insane.
say that, I don't know if I agree. I guess I think I view them pretty
Oh
similarly.
no!
I think for both of them, I don't know. Maybe I view them the same. Maybe I'd lean Lamar Jackson if I'm trying to build a dynasty. Maybe I'd lean Russell Wilson if it's a 1 year deal. You know?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Fair
Ethan,
enough.
now who is your 8 guy?
My last three guys are total weirdos, and I'm sorry.
Do you want to go through them 8 through 10?
I
Or do you want
can. They're not going to
go
be
around
on
the
any of
circle?
your lists.
You can go through all of them if you want.
Number 8 is Teddy Bridgewater. I would root for Teddy Bridgewater because he was Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson. Went to Louisville. I guess he didn't win a Heisman, but he honestly deserved to. Unless someone was way better than him. I remember him being super good at Louisville, and then he went to the NFL. He's fun on the Vikings for a little bit. I don't know. He hasn't done much in the NFL, I feel like, but I root for him. When I see Teddy Bridgewater, I give him a big old thumbs up.
I like Teddy Bridgewater. He's a cool
Me
guy.
too.
I wish he was in better situations, man.
Yeah. My next up, my number 9 is Carson Wentz, because he was on my fantasy football team for like 4 straight years. So when I
Really?
see him, I'm like, good on you. Yeah, man. I like back in middle school, he was my starting quarterback. It's always Drew Brees and Carson Wentz every year for 4 straight
Commander
years.
Carson.
That's just
Commander Carson now.
who fell to me every year. I mean, it's crazy. There are 3 OU guys in the NFL who are quarterbacks. I've never had them on fantasy. They always get taken too high by other OU fans. So I just luck into getting Carson Wentz. He's played in North Dakota. I love the Dakotas. Let me see where he's from. I don't think he's from a Dakota, but played in North Dakota State. He's from North Carolina. That's weird. I guess he's on the Colts now. You know, I don't know if I'll ever be able to.
He's actually on
imagine him.
he's on the Commanders.
Oh, okay. I guess he
Got
got
traded.
traded.
That's what I said, Commander Carson.
Yeah, I
You
remember
guys
you
are
saying that
Terry.
now. That's just what Wikipedia says. I don't know. I'm rambling about Carson Wentz. No one cares about my opinion on Carson Wentz. No one's ever going to care about my opinion on Carson Wentz. Number 10 is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold
Oh
was
my
so funny
God.
in college. Not him himself, but there was a fan group about him. Because it was when, Donnie J was president, and there was this group called The Darnold. And they would just post, like, Donald Trump, but, like, about Sam Darnold. And they're like, fake news that Josh Rosen is the better quarterback in L.A., you know. We're the best. We're gonna build a wall around UCLA because he was on USC. And
Yeah.
I see Sam Darnold. He looks like a goofball. I hope he does well.
I don't think he's going to be doing well anytime soon, Ethan.
I
Sorry to
agree
tell
with
you
you.
that.
I agree with you. I don't think he will. I mean, he
I
gets stranded
disagree.
on bad teams. Oh,
You think Sam Darnold's going to be a good quarterback?
Well, if he's put in the right situation, yes.
What situation is Sam Darnold a top 20 quarterback?
All right, but we haven't seen him with a good defensive line. I mean, we saw what he could do with DJ Moore, but after
Put him
that,
on the
the
Colts,
offensive,
then. Let's put him on the Colts.
maybe we never know. He could be good. He was like a top 3 pick.
Mhm.
I mean, there's not a reason why they picked him that high. So,
That is true. So, Aaron, we have 8 through 10, right?
yes.
Let's
Ethan,
get
how
your
are we
real
going on
lists.
time? How
We're
fast
at
do we want to go
58
through this?
minutes.
58. Let's
Yeah.
go a little bit
That was
quicker.
fast.
That did not feel like 58 minutes. At number 8, I have Russell Wilson. You guys kind of touched on it. He's a great guy to cheer for. I really like Russell Wilson. He's a good playmaker. He's clutch. There's not much else you can say about him. I just think there's some guys in the league who do stuff better than Russell Wilson.
And at number 8, I have Joe Burrow. I think you guys are surprised I don't have Lamar anywhere near this because I kind of value passing more. And it's like, would I rather have a guy who's going to run for the rest of his life or someone who can stay in the pocket and facilitate? I mean, he kind of proved himself this year. Or, yeah, he did.
Mhm.
So, I mean, yeah, I value guys in the pocket more. So, Joe Burrow at number 8.
At number 9, it was a toss-up between Burrow and this guy. I have Matthew Stafford at 9. He just won a Super Bowl. He's amazing. He's led two receivers to the two greatest receiver seasons of all time in Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp. He's got a great arm, good decision maker. Throws a little bit too many interceptions for me to put him any higher. But I am so happy that he won a Super Bowl. I was really rooting for Stafford ever since he was traded. I think he's a great quarterback. I have him at 9.
To touch on your good decision maker comment, do you guys remember in the Super Bowl when he pointed to the receiver down the field and threw the deep ball?
They won the Super Bowl, Aaron. I was just trying to praise the guy that I really like.
He didn't win the Super Bowl. It was Aaron Donald and the defense that carried, and Cooper Kupp and Eli Apple. So
that's fine. And Eli Apple. Don't forget Eli Apple.
Eli Apple. But
I think I'd have Matthew Stafford as 11 on my list. He'd definitely be higher if he was still in Detroit, but I don't like rooting for Los Angeles teams, man. It just makes me annoyed. I'm like, they got plenty of fans. They don't need my support.
They're big corporate teams, really.
Yeah, everyone loves Stafford. I'm like, I'm fine with that. He got his ring, great. I'm relinquishing my potential fandom of Stafford to someone who needs it more.
No, I completely agree. If he was in Detroit, he'd be a lot higher on my list. But for some reason with the Rams, I think he got carried, not gonna lie. But
who do you have at 9?
I have Dak Prescott at number 9.
No Lamar yet?
Not yet.
God.
I mean, I don't really like Dak either. But like I said earlier, throwing's more important than running. He can run occasionally, except he can't slide early enough for some reason in the playoffs. But I mean, Dak, solid quarterback, got overpaid though. But yeah, you guys know who's next on my list though.
At number 10, I have Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow to the point where I wrote an entire speech on Joe Burrow for my speech class. It went pretty well. I'm a huge fan of Joe Burrow. I really like Joe Burrow. I like the swag he brings to the game. I like his personality. He's a cool guy to root for. I just think there's a lot of things that he does that you could say are really good that a lot of other players do a lot better. He doesn't have the best arm. He's not the most mobile. He's not the biggest. He's good. He has great accuracy. But I would rather have Lamar as my quarterback. I'd rather have Justin Herbert, a Brady, a Stafford, a Russ. I'd rather have those guys. That's not discrediting what Joe Burrow does. Without Watson or Brady, how it was like a week ago, Burrow would be at 8 right now. And maybe I'd be like, maybe he's 7. Burrow's still a good quarterback. Having him at 10 is nothing disrespectful. Now, Aaron, who is your last guy on your list? And then we'll wrap things up.
For me, it was actually a 10A and 10B. Lamar at 10A and Stafford at 10B.
All right.
And we already elaborated on that, so yeah.
Commendable list. I think put in the comments if you're watching on YouTube whose list you think is best. I like Ethan's a lot.
My list is awful.
I think having Jalen Hurts on there, I like Jalen Hurts.
It's like more it better than Pat Mahomes?
Do you prefer the like actual top 10 list or the top 10 favorite list?
What?
I
thought you said
Aaron,
Ethan.
you said Ethan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't know I thought you were still talking Baylor, but how is Johnny Manziel not on your top 10?
Because he's inactive, and I didn't like him in college, so.
Oh yeah. I thought you just in general who your favorites are.
In general, man, I don't know. I'd have to put a lot of effort into that one. I'd get some real. We could do
a BAE Sports short or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
You could do one over your top 10 quarterbacks of all time, Ethan. I think that'd be a fun
find the weirdest ones.
Exactly. I think it'd be a fun video. So I think that's all we have here at the BAE Sports Podcast. Remember, subscribe if you like the content. Follow us on Podbean at BAE Sports Podcast, on TikTok at bay.sports, and on Twitter at BAE Sports Pod. Hopefully on Spotify if Spotify processes us. And when they do, I will get all existing episodes up on our Spotify. Till next week, from Baylor, Aaron, and Ethan, have a great night.
Yes, sir.
GN Streaks.